When we get to one you want me to stop at, Bob, I will stop.
All right. It's just gives you an idea of the state champs. One thing we've done before is about attendance for officials. Go ahead, Greg. Naturally, as an official, you need to attend this to be eligible for varsity and postseason consideration. You know, if there are penalties if you're not, or you have to coaches take a test. But we'll look at this year's rule changes. Try to answer any questions that you might have, except for those third world plays. Officials, if you don't attend this clinic, you won't get any varsity assignments as you move along. So if you have unusual circumstances, once again, you can be given an opportunity to watch the PowerPoint presentation online and get the variance from the VHSL, but you need to send that information in to get your commissioner to send that information into the VHSL by email. Go ahead. And then they'll look at the request, as well as your past attendance and any other pertinent information, and either grant or deny that request. And then you'll pay a $25 fee, resulting in the fact that you have to have somebody verify that you watch a presentation, and then you'll be granted that attendance at the clinic. This is all the information you can find about baseball on the different websites, Federation or VHSL, if any of you need that information at all. So these are the important dates for coaches, and we have district winner and a regional winner the 29th and the 5th of June. Then June 8th we'll have quarterfinals. June 11th and 12th will be up at Westfield and down at Radford again for the finals. Preseason conditioning for coaches are allowing them to do some stuff out there with the kids, so no big deal. Limitations are limited at 20. There's no major changes there at all for either. Same thing with scrimmage and jamborees are the same numbers. Max them out at 10 innings. Can play a benefit game. Skip through this. Yep. Ball is a Wilson A1010 again this year, guys, that we'll definitely be using in the quarterfinals and semis and finals. Officials, you need to take the test, score a minimum of 70 like we have before in a regular season to be eligible, and 80 for postseason. You'll take it online, and they'll provide a link on the NFS site to take this, and the VHSL site. They won't give out any paper copies this year. We had a few that went out last year, but they will not at all. You're able to take the test from February 8th to the 28th. You have 3 weeks to complete it, guys, and that allows them to look at the test scores and give them back to commissioners so they can make any changes. Before, we used to have about a 3-week window that we had to use your score from last year. So they have given you some opportunities to take it after that. You will pay those figures that you see there, $50, $75, or $100 after March 14th. And then they will definitely cut it off March 28th, I believe it is. Yep. And if you haven't completed that exam, you won't be assigned to any VHSL contest. And you have to have your ID number, so you might as well get used to keeping that. And if you work in several sports, you should only have one VHSL ID number, no matter how many sports you work. And if you don't have your ID number, you got to get up with your commissioner. He will have it. Exam is 100 true, false. No two tests will be alike. If you need to retake the exam, the questions will appear in a different order. You will only, if you score less than an 80, you can take a test a second time, but you will not be permitted after that. So if you score 80 or higher on your first attempt, you're not going to be permitted to take the test again. All right. There's a site at the VHSL.org. There's a resource that you can use in the lower right-hand corner of the baseball landing page there, and it'll give you instructions as a PowerPoint presentation. Instructions for taking the online exams right there. Gentlemen, deal with sportsmanship. This is the League of Education-Based Sports. This is the league baseballs that we care about the kids, and we're just number one priority that VHSL has is sportsmanship. It's education-based, and we want to keep it that way. All right, use opportunity to provide students stuff that they can learn from. Here you see last year's player ejections. We had 31, which is one of the lowest that we've ever had, and 8 baseball coaches compared to a lot of other sports. But you can see we did the best job that we ever have done in terms of ejections. So congratulations to everybody. And I'm not sure if that's umpires, coaches, all working together, or just us paying more attention to what's going on. We've cut the ejections of coaches down by half and players down by a third. Our goal 0, there's never really a good reason to get a player or coach out. If coaches support their athletes by being unsportsmanlike or ejected, have done just the opposite, all right? So we're watching the behavior, and we want to make go. We know the coach's roles in keeping behavior under control, so we'll go through that. If you want to watch a war, watch the 6 o'clock news. Guys, we're the protectors of the game. We don't want to engage a spectator before, after, or during a meet. We don't want you to be baiting a coach. We want you to be behaving in a professional manner. And you'll always be an official, whether you're at another sporting event, grocery store, or whatever, so act like one. If you have an attitude about a coach, don't do their games. Leave them alone. Get away from them for a while, all right? If somebody asks you a respectful question, give them an answer. I think we learned a lot about how to deal with situations today, and it was excellent for guys to learn how to deal with coaches. So what you permit, you're going to promote. What we are saying by the VHSL, though, is this year, and in reality, Tom is hearing that some associations are telling their officials not to restrict their coaches to the dugout. He feels like we need to get better at that. Even though we had the least amount of ejections, we need to take time, see the situation, and if it's not as bad as what we thought, restrict to the dugout. Use that rule. You have that opportunity to do that. Redirect the stress away from the field so you can alleviate the ejections that we have. It's just a committee. Go ahead. Go ahead. If you have questions about your VHSL regulations, they need to be directed to Tom Dolan. And officials on the field, you don't determine the number of games that somebody is going to sit out. You have to report all ejections to your commissioner and to the VHSL office, as well as incidents that happened in a game, VHSL stuff. So respect each other. Play with the honor that we know we all have. And if we keep good sportsmanship at the top, we'll be in great shape. This year's rule changes, there's not that many. Once again, this situation has been in for about the last 4 years, about dugout extensions. You can legally extend them to the foul line end of the dugout, not out towards the foul line, as you see in that picture. If you're going to extend it on one side, you got to do it on the other dugout as well. So you can't extend the dugout up towards the foul line or towards home plate. So if you think they can draw a little triangle down there and keep their bats and their buckets down there, they can't. Good. In 2012, with all the bat regulations coming up there, that's the start of when we are going to look at the BBCOR performance standard on bats, and that's going to be the same as college is. All right, this is starting in 2012. It has to be, a certification mark has to be on there, and it's legal now if they are able to, if it's available in 2010 and 11. So right now, BBCOR and BESR stamps are making sure that the bats are approved. All right, so right now, all those bats that we've had last year are legal. They were legal last year. The Reebok Vector, the Mattingly, the DeMarini bats. You can see when they're supposedly going to be legal through. And these bats dealt with legal issues, and that's what made them legal. Composite bats are still good for high school. The assistant coach. Assistant coaches are not permitted